Yes, welcome to Bikes of Rye. And with me for the data review is the all-new Street Scrambler from Honda, the CL500. Thanks to Norton Way Honda in Letchworth Garden City for the loan. Links will be in description. Now, before we take the Honda CL500 for a ride, I want to just take a quick moment to talk you through the spec of the bike with a walk around. And so starting from the front, we have a front brake which is a single 310mm disc and 2 piston caliper. The forks are conventional and are non-adjustable. The engine is a 471cc parallel twin pushing out 46 brake horsepower. The fuel tank is 12 litres and has a claimed 200 plus miles of range. Rear suspension are these twin shockers and are preload adjustable. And in the rear brake is a single piston caliper. Now it's pretty obvious that the CL500 has a low seat height. It has a seat height of 31 inches, and to demonstrate how you may appear on the CL500, well, I'm 6 foot tall. Also, the bike weighs 192 kilograms wet. As for tech on the bike, well, it's pretty basic with this minimalistic LCD display showing you the essentials. Switchgear is basic also. Other worthwhile things to mention before we throw a helmet on is the bike has ABS both front and rear. There are LED lights all around. And you can get the CL500 not only in this orange colour, but also blue, black and green. And Honda backed the CL500 with a 2-year warranty. Alright then, on to the road review. And I have to tell you, this is a third variant of the 500 parallel twin that I've ridden. Now this is based very much so on the Rebel 500, the CMX 500. It shares the same chassis, forks, however the subframe and, well, basically the rear end of this bike is different. I can't help but notice every time I ride these 500s is that they are so easy to ride. It's effortless to ride them. I mean, everything is so light. Like the clutch, for example, I can just use one finger, it's that light. As for comfort, well, it's a, you know, this is what they call a street scrambler, and the seat is quite straight, flat, it's quite firm. The bike is very refined, like there's not really many vibrations through the handlebars or through the foot pegs, but you know, that kind of makes me question its character. Because this is a street scrambler, it's just lacking a little bit of, you know, maybe it's a bit too refined, I'm not sure. I mean, the exhaust, for example, you know, it's Euro 5 friendly and they have to meet certain requirements, or let's call them restrictions. You would hope that, you know, there was a bit more character to the exhaust, a bit more noise. It's very, very refined. I mean, it's a good thing and potentially not such a good thing. Also, I didn't realise this maybe when I rode the 500 Rebel, but the LCD display is very, very dim, and this is a cloudy day, and you know, it's not so bright, and I imagine, or I would assume, if it's a sunny day, you would struggle to see the readout, and I'm certain you can't improve the brightness. I think that's as bright as that display goes, and it only shows you the very basics, like your speed, but at least it does have a fuel gauge, which, you know, everybody loses their mind about a bike not having a fuel gauge, so at least this has one. So I am wondering if Honda have slightly tuned this differently to the previous 500s I've ridden, or geared it slightly differently, because, and this is something that I'm actually glad about, is the power seems, it just seems a little bit more pokey, lower down in the RPM, or like maybe in the mid-range, and that's what I was hoping for, because it's being a street scrambler or a street bike, you know, I don't want to be screaming it to get it going, and it just seems to have a little bit more oomph behind it, a little bit more urgency, and I don't feel like I'm having to ride the hell out of it to have fun. And then as for suspension as well, Honda have nailed the suspension. You would think, being a budget bike, right, A2 friendly bike, the suspension is going to be ropey as. Let me tell you, it's just the right amount of soft. It's not crashing and banging, you know, because this is important. You know, hear me out. Being a road bike, you want it to be friendly. I don't want it to be shattering my teeth out. And I like it being that bit soft because it makes the ride a little bit more engaging. And you see, because the suspension is not too firm, and it's allowing you to really feel the road, you get this extra bit of confidence to hustle the bike. I'm going down a road here that I'm unfamiliar with, and I'm using one finger on the front brake, and the chassis is just lapping it up. And this is what it's all about. It's a bike to have fun on, yeah? It's a street scrambler. And I've got loads of confidence in it. It feels like there's loads of grip, plenty of grip at least, for these roads, and they're a bit damp. And again, the mid-range poke has 100% been improved. Again, I wonder if it's been tuned slightly differently. Gearbox, I mean, you can't miss a gear on this. This is what the Scrambler's all about. This is what it's designed to do. This is the road it's built for. Okay, should we do a little test of acceleration here? We've got nothing coming. I'm checking in those big clear mirrors of the CL500. So here we go, first gear. $60, just like that. Whoa-hey! Also, because of the way this bike is styled, right, I guess they've styled it sort of like a 70s Scrambler. What it means is the bike's very, very roomy, and I rate what Honda have done with this, because I think what they are trying to do is encapsulate how it would feel, or maybe if you're an older rider and you're used to old school scramblers, it kind of gives you that feeling that you're riding an old school bike almost, but with more, you know, new tech and reliability.
Okay, quick summary then of the Honda CL500. Now, not only is this bike a beginner rider's dream, but also a fun, maybe second bike, or a bike to get back into riding for the more experienced rider. Forget that it only has 46 brake horsepower for the moment. This bike manages to be a lot of fun, partly down to the fact that it's so light, but also because the soft ride really brings the chassis alive. You don't need to be going very quickly for it to be so engaging. However, as great it is to ride, it's worth mentioning that the 180-degree crank delivers an almost vibration-free experience, making for a remarkably quiet ride. While it undoubtedly showcases Honda's signature build quality, I found it lacked a distinctive character, or let's say appeal, that you might expect from a street scrambler. Also, the LCD display was so poorly lit. It reminded me of the classic Casio watch, if you ever had one. You know, the one where if the battery was low, the digits started to fade. But no, jokes aside, this bike was way more fun than I expected, and I actually think it does look brilliant. I actually have a brother with an A2 license, and you know, I couldn't help but keep thinking how pretty much perfect this bike would be for him. In fact, Liam, when you see this, I reckon you would love this new CL500. I highly recommend it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you'd like to see more from me, then please check out this suggested video on your screen. And with that said, thanks for watching. See you later.